What is going on, guys? Jamie here, and we are back with a new season, and we're back in the big time. It only took us one season. That was the plan. We accomplished that. Now we're back, arguably where Newcastle belong, in the Premier Division, the Premier League, and our first game of the season today, a home game against Everton. I'll give you a quick rundown of what's been happening pre-season. If we have a quick look at the schedule, only a few friendlies to speak of. We did a pre-season tour of Portugal, so as you can see, 3 out of the 4 friendlies are all against Portuguese teams. I'll let my assistant take control of these. A 2-0 win against Belenenses. I'm going to go with that. Richie and Patson in the goals. Estoril, 3-0 win. Richie and Mitrovic and an own goal. A 0-0 against Porto at home. I'm not too disappointed by that, actually. I think that's a fairly good result. And then, as Gateshead are a feeder club, we have like an obligatory friendly against them, which we won 4-0. So if we have a quick look at our activity over the summer, a few notable outs first. Hadji has retired. He didn't really get much of a look in last season anyway. First couple of months he was fairly important, but after that he became a nothing player really, and he decided to call it a day. So thank you for your services, Yusuf, but yeah, not bad to get off the wages. We also let Florian Thauvin go to Marseille, but this transfer is already set up when you start as Newcastle, so there was little that we could do about that one. This is the only real major out of the summer. A couple of people left on a free, nobody real notable. Going up to the Premier League, I knew we had Tim Krul to come back. I really like Tim Krul. I think his experience in the Premier League is going to be vital, so he's probably going to be my first choice this season. So then my backup was out of Darlow and Sells, and after the season that they both had, the coaches still rated Sells higher, and there was interest in Darlow. So I thought, well, if we can get a good price for him, then I'm happy to let him go. We got 6 million for him, so I'm not too disappointed. You can see from the stats there, he had a good season with us last season. 16 clean sheets in 30 games, only 21 conceded. But I felt, yeah, 3 keepers was probably too many. We've got a couple of young keepers as well in the academy, so I don't mind them. The likes of Freddie Woodman can step in if we need to. So I was happy to let Darlow go. The only other real notable out, Jamie Ward, same as Yusuf Hadji really, came in and was a squad player for the first couple of months, but after that didn't really come to much, and we've let him go out to Rotherham for a measly fee of 375k after we signed him for $1 million. But as you can see, only made 4 appearances, didn't set the world alight, so I was happy to let him go. If we have a quick look then, I know your eyes will be looking over the left hand side of the screen, but we'll go through those in a second. Ivan Toney's gone out on loan. Sammy Amiobi's left on a free, as has Haris Vukic. No one else really of note. Rob Elliott's gone out on loan to Villa for the season. Adam Armstrong's gone out on loan to MK Dons for the season. Williams again to Southend. Conser to Oxford. And Ribeiro to Crewe. Salto to Cambridge. And Babu to Montreal. Binguru, Kamara to New York Red Bulls. But let's go through the ins then. I know you've already had a look. So the first one then, Adam Smith. So we needed another right back. We came into the season with Yedlin, and I was going to keep Yedlin. He played well last season. But with Gamez going out, we didn't really have anyone to at least back up Yedlin. So I went out and had a look, and I saw Adam Smith. He was quite highly rated as a fullback. It's his stronger position. He's got some good stats for a fullback. You know, his crossing's quite good, tackling's good, marking probably be a little bit better, but he's fairly pacey, got good physicals, decent mentals. So I think him and Yedlin will be rotating a little bit until I find who I prefer in that position. We picked Adam Smith up for just over £9 million. Didn't set the world alight at Bournemouth. Had a fairly decent season when he played, but he didn't play too many games, so they're quite happy to let him go. Our biggest signing of the summer, Robbie Brady. Now, I needed a left winger. We had, as I said at the end of the last episode, we had a future fee agreed with Chelsea. It was $5 million. Submitted the offer for $5 million for Atsu, sorry. He accepted it, that's fine. We offered him the contract. He pulled my pants down a little bit with the contract, but I didn't mind because he was our best player last season. And he failed a work permit. I appealed. He failed again. We could have signed him, but I just hate having that player where you can't play them. You've got to loan them out. So I just didn't see the point. It was quite a lot of wages that he wanted as well. So I thought, well, if he's not going to play, I'm not going to pay him. It's as simple as that. So we cancelled the deal. That Chelsea ended up transfer listing him, so we went in again. But again, the work permit was declined, so had to look elsewhere. Had quite a bit of money, as you saw from the last episode. And Robbie Brady has come in. I paid a bit over the odds, really, considering Burnley only paid £10.5 million for him the year before, and he didn't have a great season. I did pay £18.5 million for him. I love Robbie Brady. I think he's a good player in real life. He's got an absolute wand of a left foot. And again, you look at some of those stats: crossing, dribbling, first touch, free kick taking, long shots, passing, technique. He's got so many good attributes for a winger. He's got decent physicals, solid mentals across the board. 3.5-star rated player. Yeah, he's earning a little bit of money, but tied him down to a decent contract. And I think Robbie Brady could be a really important player for this team. And our last summer signing, for the moment that is, Diego Falcinelli. I bought him in from Sassuolo for a measly fee of 1.8 million. Now, I know you look at those stats, they're not the greatest. He scored 12 goals in Serie A last season for Crotone. He had a decent loan spell before that at Perugia. Hasn't really done it for Sassuolo, but I've seen him doing things in this game before in other saves. And I just felt, 1.8 million, again, he's got good stats. You look at his value, he's already gone up to 7 million, 3-star player. He's only 26, so I just felt 1.8 million, we couldn't go wrong with bringing him in. I did go for other options first. I had 3 bids accepted for different players, but they didn't come off. The first one, Danny Ings from Liverpool, he was transfer listed. They only wanted 9 million for him, so I bid the 9 million, but he wanted an outrageous contract. I think the cap that I could offer players, even though I had more than this in the wage budget, I could only offer players like 83 grand a week. That was the absolute limit. He wanted more than that, so I tried to negotiate with him, but he just wasn't interested. So there were a couple other teams that had put in loan bids for him, so I thought, well, if I can't get him permanently, I'd love to have him on loan. We put a loan bid in for him. It was accepted, but he ended up, I think he's gone to Schalke on loan, so unfortunately we missed out. And then we had 2 other bids for strikers accepted, but the exact same thing happened. They wanted so much in wages, and the ones that got away, Fernando Llorente and Loic Remy, kind of on the older side, but their experience is invaluable. I think Remy he's played brilliantly for Newcastle in the past, and he's still really good on this game. Llorente is always a danger. So yeah, 2 that got away, but I saw Falcinelli and I thought, well, 4th time lucky. He's not actually too bad, so he can. His preferred position is complete forward, but he's got some great attributes, so I think he can slot into our system. And yeah, I think we've pretty much run out of money. If we have a quick look, we've got 8 million, 93k in wages, so maybe we can have a look around. So you're probably wondering then, what is the system that we've gone up to with the Premier League? It's a lot more competitive. You have to be a lot more tactically solid, and you have to be tactically aware, I guess, because these big teams will punish you if you make the slightest mistake. So this season we're going with a 4-4-2 again. I love a 4-4-2. You guys know that. I love a 4-4-2. It served us well last season, so why not? I stuck with most of the players that have us up last season. I'm going to stick with the same formation. One thing actually I wanted to know as well, that before the summer started, I tied down loads of players to loads of long-term contracts. The likes of Tim Krul signed a new deal, Yedlin signed a new deal, Lazar signed a new deal, Richie signed a new deal. Who else has signed a new contract? Lascelles has signed a new deal. So, I've tied down a lot of people to new contracts. I've got decent pay rises, so it completely ate away at our wage budget. But we still had a decent chunk left, and as you can see, we've brought in the players that we have. But this is the squad that I'm going with today. This is the starting line I'm going with today. You know what my philosophy of squad numbers is as well. Lightness is, if the lower the number, the more likely I am to include them in my first team, unless of course you're like Mitrovic and you've got a preferred number, or you're Robbie Brady and I brought you in after I did the numbers. So anyway, as we get into the day's game. Let me just run you through the team. So we've got Tim Krul in goal, a back line of DeAndre Yedlin, Chancellor Mbemba, Kieran Clark and Ashraf Lazar. I believe, yeah, Lascelles is just coming back from injury, as you can see he's on the bench. Dummett's injured as well. So, actually, one thing about Mbemba as well, he got a lot of interest over the summer, and I think PSG came in with about 3 bids for him, and they were offering me up to 30 million. But if you have a quick look at him, there we go. So yeah, just rated over 18 million. So I wanted like near double that. So I was asking for like almost 40 million. They wouldn't negotiate. To be fair, he didn't pipe up and throw a strop, so I'm quite happy with that. But I'm glad that I've managed to keep him around. Anyway, midfield, Matt Ritchie on the right, Robbie Brady on the left. We're going today with John Shelvey and Isaac Hayden in the middle of the park. And then my top two, Alex Mitrovic, Dwight Gale. I really want Dwight Gale to do well this season. I think he's the kind of player that if he plays well and gets it right, he can score goals for fun at whatever level. So I'm really hoping that this season he shows us what he really can do. On the bench, we've got Lascelles, Smith, Colback, he signed a new contract as well. Rolando Aarons, Falcinelli, returning Emmanuel Riviere after his loan spell, where I'm not quite too sure where he went. He's not the greatest striker, but you know, he'll do as probably a fourth choice. And then you'll see the rest of the squad. Paul Dummett, Hanley's still about, Diame's there, although he is injured. I'm not too sure how long he's out for. It's not going to tell me. Next thing, there we go, 2 weeks. I know how long is Dummett out for? 6 weeks. So Lazar's going to be getting a bit of game time, which is suiting quite nicely. But I've called up Callum Roberts to the squad. Now, his preferred position is a right winger. He can also play as a striker, but if you look at the potential on this lad, he was out on loan last season at Kilmarnock. 31 games, 6 goals, 7 assists, not too bad. I'm all about, you know, I like promoting youngsters from within. He's a left-footed right-side player, so can cut in. He's got some decent stats already, so hopefully we can grow and get in some game time, and he'll develop into a nice little player for us. Anyway, enough babbling on. It's time. I'm really excited for this. The first game of the season. Let's see how we get on. So have a look at the Everton team there. They've managed to keep hold of Lukaku, which is quite impressive. Doesn't seem to be much in the way of transfers. Let's have a quick look at what business they've done this year. It's quite surprising actually. Everton normally struggle on last year's game. In the first season. I've seen quite often they get relegated, so be interesting to see then what they've done. They've brought in Troy Deeney, rising up to 19 million. Eduardo Salvio, he's a winger, isn't he? Yeah, he's quite a good player, so that should be a good addition for them. And then Ryan McCormack, he's a Scottish regen, so they obviously see a potential in him. Any notable else? Gareth Barry's retired, Koeman's gone to free, McElhenney. Anyone else that we know of? Not really. Mason Holgate, 13 million to West Brom, that's not too bad. Calvert-Lewin's gone out. Niasse on loan to Fenerbahce, Besic out to Hull. So not too much major change. Actually, I'll just go through this quickly before we get into the game. For anyone that wanted to see what this league looked like last season, there you go. Arsenal ran away with the league. 9 points ahead of City. Tottenham third, Liverpool fourth, Chelsea struggling in sixth. Watford, West Brom and Hull getting relegated. So Middlesbrough just about surviving, which is cool. So yeah, it should make for a fairly competitive league this year, and we actually are predicted to finish mid-table. So, you know, they obviously believe in us, but I think that's probably more the size of the club more than anything. So we've got a bit of a challenge on our hand this season. But let's go out today. Let's go out and give the fans their money's worth. I think we'll leave it as that. It's a day to be enjoyed, our first day back in the Prem. So let's see if we can send the fans home happy. So Lukaku plays the ball in, but it's cut out by Yedlin, and now we bring the ball up to Mitrovic, and he's popped in Gale. Gale 3 minutes in, and he started the season with a bang. 3 minutes in, and Gale has started exactly the way I would want him to. Easy goal. Gale playing on the shoulder, a good through ball by Mitrovic. He's only got Robles to beat, and he tucks it past him. A great start to life back in the Premier League for Newcastle United. Right, so Shelvey has the ball now, plays it into Ritchie. What can he do? Pulls out to Yedlin, back stick, Hayden gets a nod down, Brady across. Ritchie is two! Absolute seeds at St James's. One of the pivotal men of last season, Matt Ritchie. There's some great play in there. He plays out to Yedlin. It's a bit of a long old ball back stick, but Hayden does well to knock it down. There's a great ball in by Brady to find Ritchie at the far stick. He's already contributing. And look at that. Newcastle are top of the Premier League. I wonder how long it will last. So we start then with Krul, and he's lumped up towards Gale, and it looks like Barkley's going to get on the end of that, up to Lukaku. As long as we can keep Lukaku quiet today, we should have a fairly decent chance. Delafeu, he manages to find Koeman inside to Schneiderlin with acres of space. It's Balassi, it's Barkley. Balassi, shots blocked to Lazar. Can we break? Good ball up to Mitrovic. Now Gale, what can he do with it? Plays it back into Mitrovic. Into Ritchie, he's in behind. Gale, oh, he's missed an absolute sitter. Oh no. You should expect him. You put your house on him to bury it. Actually, I don't know, after last season, you probably wouldn't. Oh no, that could have effectively put the game to bed, and it's not even half time. Come on, one more goal before half time and we'll be loving life. Shelby now, back to Clark. We've looked so composed and I'm really impressed so far. Shelby now, what can he do? Hayden hasn't got much options, but we get it ball to Brady. Shelby now, he's good ball into Lazar, he's in behind his man, he puts it in Gale, and it is 3. He makes no mistake this time. This is what I wanted from the boy last season. He obviously loves the big time. He loves it when the spotlight's on him. There's a great ball in by Shelby, a good run from Lazar, a front stick ball. Gale, I'm guessing with the slightest of flicks, and it's in the back of the net. Everton haven't turned up. Is there going to be another goal before half time? Ritchie brings the ball forward. Mitrovic, Hayden, Gale's in again. Oh, he's hit the bar. Oh, he could have had a first half. He could have had 4 in the first half. Absolutely unbelievable. And Everton have dominated this game, really. If you have a look at the stats, they're more shots, more possession. Absolutely incredible. Right, I'm absolutely ecstatic with that first half. We've been awesome. Lukaku's nowhere to be seen. Barkley probably went for a medical somewhere and then changed his mind at the last minute. Hashtag context. And yeah, it just, I don't know what's the players obviously just. They're competing now, but it's a good ball into Lukaku. And Abemba wins the ball off him. Yeah, that's nicely played. Back to Krul. Mitrovic down to Gale. Can we get an early second half goal? Mitrovic plays in Ritchie. Brady's there. Gale, oh, he's found his way in. It's gone as a Gale goal. He's got his hat-trick. He could have had 5. Now, normally the highlight after the kick-off never comes to anything, but we're on an absolute roll. And I just want to put this out there. I haven't saved and reloaded. I've got to this game, and literally I've loaded it up, and this is the first attempt I've had at this game. There's no question of cheating. I'm completely honest with this. I admitted at the start, right when I did my first Spurs video, that I'm not the greatest of managers. So if I'm gonna struggle, you'll see it. But this is honestly absolutely unbelievable. I was not expecting us to start the game this well. Right, anyway, let's go back to the action, shall we? Lazar into Shelby. Lazar again. Finds Brady now. What can he do? Cuts inside, back to Shelby. Mitrovic has got a bit of space. He finds him. It's 5. It's turning into a rout now. Mitrovic grabs his first of the season. I can't believe. Look at the stats. Even number of shots. Yeah, we've had a few more on target. We've hit the woodwork as well. Less of the possession. We've completed less passes. I just don't get it. I mean, we've run a lot more. Maybe that's, running is what it is all about in the Premier League. But as a highlight after the goal, Lukaku's been hauled off. He's been replaced by Deeney. Sorry. So can Everton try and get back into this game? They need to try and save a bit of face. Alamola Lookman, and he shoots well over. Right, I think after this highlight, I'm going to make a change or 2. But we'll see what happens. Deeney, Balassi's in behind, and he's chipped it, but it's gone well wide. And yeah, I think I am going to make a change. Oh, I'm going to bring on Falcinelli, and I'm going to bring off Gale. He's run absolutely. He's run into the ground today. He's had a magnificent game, a 9.6. I'll bring on Falcinelli for his debut, so Gale can get his standing ovation. There we go. A standing ovation for Gale, and rightly so. He's been absolutely tremendous today. I really hope these aren't like the 3 goals he's going to score in the season, and that's it. So, you know, let's hope that he can actually perform for the other 37 games of the season. This is up towards Brady. Lazar collects. Hayden now. Mitrovic, what can he do? Falcinelli, he's in. Oh, he's missed a golden opportunity. I wonder if I left Gale on if he'd have scored that. But I can't be saying that. But he got another chance. Lazar, Falcinelli. Yedlin on the edge. Oh, he scored. He's in on the act. And it's 6. Jesus Christ. Who would have predicted this? I certainly wasn't. I was expecting an absolute... Well, I wasn't expecting a drumming, but I was expecting a tough game. And it's men against boys out there. Robles probably should be doing better. Falcinelli getting himself assist. Oh, it's all coming up trumps. Well, I don't feel like I need to make any changes with the way it's going. I'm just absolutely stunned. If you have a look, I think the lowest rated player there was Tim Krul on a 7.7. And he's had nothing to do. Can we get one last hurrah? There's only 25 seconds, so I think that's going to be that. But what a performance, and what a way to start our season. If it carries, I know it's not going to carry on in this fashion. Of course, there's going to be some harder games. But what a way to announce yourselves back in the Prem. And we've got a fairly good run of games at the start of the season as we full-time whistle goes. Unbelievable, unbelievable. Look at those ratings. 8s and 9s across the board. Absolutely unbelievable. To right passionately say, I'm very happy with the way we've played. Newcastle top of the Premier League. Take a picture now. Let's call the end of the season there, I swear. It's not going to get any better than that. Even above Sunderland. I didn't realise Sunderland had stayed up, so there we go. We've got a time where Derby to look forward to. I'll just show you the run of fixtures, actually, I was saying. We've got a fairly kind of run of fixtures at the start of the season. Oh, Shelby's injured. Oh, I can play with the protective equipment. He's only out for a couple of days. That's fine. Yeah, if you have a look then. Southampton next. And then we've got Swansea, Burnley, Stoke, Norwich, Sunderland, Leicester, Wolves. And then it starts to get a bit tough. So, a fairly kind run of games at the start. Hopefully we can pick up as many points as possible to assert our position in the Premier League. But with a start like that, I can't. I'm going to need to go and have a lie down. If you have enjoyed today's episode, I know I definitely have. Please pop a like on there for me. We're back in the Premier League, and I think a 6-0 win on our return. That's got to get a like, hasn't it? Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. And thank you very much for watching.